Great. Well, I'm Matt Nayor, and I'll be giving really an overview and sort of conceptual framework for the work that my lab does, focusing on cardiometabolic resiliency in the Framingham Heart Study. And this slide really gives a broad overview of the cardiovascular epidemiology of cardiovascular disease in the U.S. as it stands. Despite the incredible progress that's been made in the treatment and prevention of cardiovascular disease, the prevalence of cardiovascular disease is on the rise and projected to continue to increase over the coming decades. And this is really due to a shift in the burden in the population of the traditional risk factors, where high lipids and smoking and hypertension have been reduced, but we see a really dramatic rise in the burden of obesity and diabetes and other metabolic phenotypes. And so there's now really a great emphasis on identifying and promoting cardiometabolic health to prevent this huge burden of cardiometabolic disease. And one way to do this is to define cardiometabolic health as the presence of healthy behaviors or the absence of risk factors. And this is really an incredibly impactful approach on the population or individual level, but its ability to understand the underlying biological variability that is key to mechanistic discovery, which my group is really interested in, is a little more limited. And so we have focused on a different set of phenotypes of metabolic health, which can be characterized as phenotypes of resilience. And this idea of resilience as representing optimal function of a system is not unique to cardiology or to medicine. In fact, in ecological sciences, resilience is defined as the capacity of an ecosystem to absorb disturbances while maintaining essential functions. And that's really the job of human physiology as well. And so we've focused on two main physiologic stressors that uncover resilience phenotypes in humans. And we've really tried to focus on stress that's encountered in everyday life. And so the first of these is exercise, which really exerts a profound stress on multiple organ systems and requires multi-organ coordination. We performed over 3,000 exercise tests using gold standard methods in the Framingham Heart Study. And we use this to really determine a multi-organ map of the determinants of cardiorespiratory fitness. And we've also used it for molecular and mechanistic discovery. As shown in the forest plot at the bottom of the slide is a multi-protein biomarker of cardiorespiratory fitness that we developed and then looked at its association and ability to predict cardiovascular disease and non-cardiovascular conditions, even including lung cancer. The second resilience phenotype that we've been focused on is the response to nutritional stress of an oral mixed meal. And this is based on the concept that a healthy or flexible metabolism is actually changes more in response to nutritional stress than an unhealthy metabolism, which is less flexible. And so we gave 2,400 Framingham participants the same mixed meal and measured metabolites in the blood before and 2 hours afterwards. We saw broad changes in the circulating metabolome, as shown in the volcano plot. And what's really intriguing in early findings from our study is that we see that the pre and post-meal glucose levels, shown in the Venn diagram, are under very different genetic control, and really suggesting that that this might be a key opportunity to identify novel genetic mechanisms underlying the post-meal glucose, which is really more reflective of the glucose during everyday life. And this is ongoing work in my lab, and I'd be happy to discuss it further with anybody who's interested.